In today's video, I am going to be talking all about confidence boosting fragrances. And these are fragrances that personally make me feel really confident. So if you like the sound of that, then please do keep on watching. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if it's the first time you are visiting. Thank you so much for joining me today. As I already mentioned in the intro, I'm going to be talking all about fragrances that make me feel really confident. And I feel like this will be so different from person to person, but please do join me for this video. See what fragrances make me feel most confident, and then I would also love to hear what fragrances make you feel the most confident too. So without further ado, let's get started on the list. The first fragrance that I want to discuss, and it will probably be no surprise if you are a regular viewer of my channel, is from Micallef, and it is Ylang in Gold. One of my all-time favorite fragrances within my collection. This one just makes me feel super confident every time I wear it. It is such a beautiful, elegant, timeless fragrance in my opinion. I feel my best self whenever I wear this one. It transports me to a tropical vacation and I am living my best life when I wear this one. Another special thing about Ylang in Gold is it actually has tiny little mica particles of shimmer. So when you spray this on the skin, it leaves you just with a slight dusting of shimmer. I normally don't notice it unless I overspray this fragrance, but I do think that is such a special touch to the fragrance. But something I also wanted to highlight to you, just in case you are not a fan of glitter. But this fragrance smells incredible. As you've probably already guessed, it has a prominent note of Ylang Ylang, as per the name suggests. And that Ylang Ylang feels quite warm, a little bit waxy and very tropical. And I really do love my yellow floral fragrances, so it's no wonder why this one makes me feel so confident when I wear this one. And I've explained it a few times in other videos as reminding me a little bit of a banana pina colada, which I know is not a thing, but just imagine a pina colada, add some banana in there, you're surrounded by beautiful Ylang Ylang or white florals, and you're sipping this cocktail on a beach. There's a light breeze in the air. It's just the vibe that comes to mind whenever I smell this one. An absolute favorite, bursting full of fruity goodness. There's lychee, there's pear, there's other fruity notes in here too. It also has lots of vanilla, it has coconut, there are other florals in here too. I would say the Ylang Ylang is most prominent to my nose, but there are some white florals in this composition, a little bit of musk in the base. But this is a very vanillic yellow floral with a fruity touch to it, very special. Makes me feel extremely confident whenever I wear it, and I love it for that. So the first fragrance is Micallef's Ylang in Gold. Another fragrance that likely won't shock you is from Nuit Nomade, and this one is Jardins de Misfah. And I had a real love affair with this one over the winter period. Don't get me wrong, I still absolutely love this one, but I was just reaching for this all the time over winter period. It was quite new in my collection at that point and I just could not get enough of it. It makes me feel extremely confident every time I wear this one. It's a really gorgeous jammy rose with lots of dates in here too. I feel like it has a really unique scent profile, but at the same time it's familiar and very likable. The top notes are cardamom and nutmeg, two of my favorite notes ever. Combine that with the dates and the rose, makes for an extremely special wearing experience in my opinion. And then the base has a creamy almond note and a little bit of saffron, and that saffron just gives this a special sexy edge. I know so many of you have tried this one and left me feedback in the comments, and you have also been really loving it, which makes me so happy, because when we can connect on a fragrance that we both love, I feel like that's really special, or a special part of this community at the very least. But yeah, if you like the sound of rose, you like the saffron, the cardamom, the nutmeg and the dates, I would highly recommend trying out Jardins de Misfah. You can get small sizes of this too if you just want to get a decant. They also sell 10ml, 25ml and 50ml size formats. Great price point for a niche fragrance house and great quality. So I cannot recommend Jardins de Misfah highly enough. It makes me feel very confident when I wear it, and it is a real love of a fragrance for me. Another fragrance that I absolutely love, and I don't feel like I've discussed in a few videos now, is from Sora, and this one is Orchidee Rouge. And this one was a little bit of a love affair for me too when I first sampled it. Makes me feel extremely confident and powerful whenever I wear this one. I feel like it's a very likable scent profile that so many people would enjoy. It's kind of soft, it's vanillic, it's a little bit lactonic and slightly gourmand, but it's not too gourmand, it's not too sweet. It's perfectly balanced in my opinion. And this is why I think Orchidee Rouge is so special, because it has all of those elements that I love in a fragrance, but it's just not too much. Like, don't get me wrong, I love a gourmand fragrance, but sometimes they are just a little bit overwhelming. Whereas with Orchidee Rouge, I feel like this one is extremely versatile. I can wear this in all seasons, and it just is perfect for so many different occasions too. This is almond milk, it is vanilla, it is rum, there's some caramel in here too. Super delicious just with those first notes that I've explained. Those are the notes that I pick up the most on whenever I smell this fragrance. However, it is a lot more complex than just the almond milk, the vanilla and the caramel. Add in a little bit of that boozy element from the rum. There's some benzoin in here. There's a little bit of heliotrope that gives it a slightly powdery feel. It's not powdery at all as a fragrance, but a slight powdery feel which kind of cuts through some of those sweeter notes like the caramel. There's some bergamot, there's a dusting of cinnamon, and the way I would describe this is like a really gorgeous almond drink which has caramel in it. It's vanillic, dash some rum in there, add a sprinkling of cinnamon. I don't know, I just think this one is absolutely gorgeous. It leaves me feeling really confident every time I smell this one. And if you like the sound of the notes and you've never sampled Orchidee Rouge, I would highly recommend doing so, because it is a very special fragrance in my opinion. The next fragrance, without a doubt, makes me feel super confident every time I wear it. And it is One Umbrella for Two by Floraiku, one of my favorite fragrances in my collection. Spoken about this one quite a lot. It was actually in my top 3 fragrances to wear on my wedding day. The only reason I didn't pick it is because it was maybe a little bit more fruity than the vibe I wanted to go for on my wedding day, but I do feel like this is an extremely special fragrance. It gets me so many compliments, but more importantly than that, I give myself compliments every time I wear this, because I'll get a waft in the air and I will just be like, wow, I smell incredible. And what more could you want from a fragrance than thinking you smell incredible yourself? That's my ultimate goal anyway. I want to enjoy the fragrance I am wearing. Whilst it's nice for other people to enjoy your fragrance, I feel like it's more important for you to enjoy what you wear more. I don't know. Anyway, let's get off that subject. So One Umbrella for Two makes me feel really confident because it's a very uplifting fragrance. It feels very me in a bottle every time I wear it. It smells a little bit like baked pie. So you've got some fresh berries that were cooked down into a syrup. It's been pulled out of the oven. You've got that buttery, flaky pastry coming through. That's the vibe I get from One Umbrella for Two. Whilst the notes might not suggest that, it's just how I perceive it. But the real notes are blackcurrant up top, you have cyclamen, you have a rice note, there is also some tea in here. A little bit of woodiness, so there's a cedar note, and then it's a little bit musky in the base. However, I will say it doesn't pour too musky on me. The sweetness definitely lasts from the opening right down to the dry down on my skin, which is something I really enjoy about this fragrance. I do pick out the tea note, not super prominent, but it's there. And I also do pick out that rice note as well, which cuts through the sweet, tart juiciness up top. I do perceive the blackcurrant note in here to be a little bit more like blueberry. Personally, that's just how I perceive it. And a question I get asked all the time is, do I prefer One Umbrella for Two or EBK's Deep and Desire Yacht? Whilst I do think they are extremely similar in the 90% similarity mark, I feel like One Umbrella for Two, because it has that rice note in there and the tea note, it just is a little bit more wearable for my personal taste. So in this video right now, I would pick One Umbrella for Two over Deep and Desire Yacht. They are both fantastic fragrances. I guess from a price point of view, this is a 50ml and the EBK is 100ml. But I do like the uniqueness of these bottles. So if you didn't know, it's a 50ml bottle, but in the set when you order this, you also get a 10ml travel size, which goes into this lid, and then you can carry it around with you in your handbag. So you technically get 60ml of fragrance, and you get a second lid for this bottle if you are using the travel case. I personally prefer just keeping it like this, but when I do travel, I do take the 10ml atomizer. Anyway, let's not talk too much about the functionality of the fragrance. I just want to say that this is a real confidence boosting fragrance for me personally. Lasts all day on my skin, and I just love it, to be quite honest with you. The next fragrance that is a confidence booster for me is from BDK, and this one is Soir. And this just leaves me feeling so happy whenever I wear it, which in turn makes me feel super confident. Now, it is relatively new to my collection. I think I got it early this year, maybe the back end of last year. And for me, this is a more spring-summer scent, specifically more of a summer fragrance. It could be a little bit challenging for some people because it has a prominent note of quince, which I really enjoy. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. And then there's also a prominent note of ginger in here, which I love ginger, so I'm always going to be a fan of, well, I don't want to say I'm always going to be a fan of fragrances with ginger, but if a fragrance has ginger in it, I'm going to sample it. But this is just a fun, fruity, juicy, citrusy fragrance. There is some pepper in here too, some black pepper. And I feel like the quince and the black pepper is what can make it challenging for some people. But then you've also got mandarin, you've got jasmine, you've got orange blossom, and then there's some amberwood and cashmeran in the base. But this is just a very fun, fruity fragrance, but not too fruity. It's more of a sharp, fruity fragrance. To me, it's quite thick, it's quite syrupy, and I just really enjoy wearing it, to be quite honest with you. Very, very unique. I don't have anything else like this in my collection, and I can't wait for the warmer weather to come here in the UK because I will be reaching for this one so much as a nice confidence boosting fragrance. The next fragrance is Chere, and it's from Mizensir. And I've been wanting this one in my collection for quite some time. It is definitely one of my favorites from Mizensir, and I have been wearing this quite a lot over the last 2-3 weeks, and I feel like this would make such a great signature fragrance. It's not too in your face, but at the same time, every time I wear it, it just boosts my confidence. And that's why I say I feel like it could be a great signature scent. The scent profile is very likable. I think this is feminine, it's pretty, it's everyday, it's all occasion. I like my fragrances when I feel like I can wear them to any occasion, I can wear them in all seasons. And I tend to gravitate towards those more signature scent profiles personally. And I know signature scent means different things to different people, but I just feel so good whenever I wear this one. In essence, it's a vanilla fragrance, but it does have some other things going on in it quite subtly. There's a C note in there, and I don't really perceive this as an aquatic fragrance at all. I definitely get the orange blossom and the jasmine, but I wouldn't say this is an orange blossom fragrance. There's a very light amber in here. And when I say very light, it's that translucent amber that's kind of there, but it's not dense and sticky. It just gives this a little bit of depth. And with that vanilla, which is quite a sweet vanilla, it balances this out and stops it being too basic. And then you've also got a little bit of sandalwood in the base. I wouldn't call this a sandalwood fragrance, but this is a very easy reach vanilla with a little bit of amber in there, but that translucent amber, as I mentioned, light dustings of florals. I would say the florals aren't super prominent. They're there, but it's not necessarily a floral fragrance. It's just really pretty. I find this one quite hard to describe. I know quite a lot of people like this fragrance. I would love to hear your feedback on how you perceive this one. But the best thing I can just say about it is I think it would make a great signature scent, and it makes me feel really confident, which is why it's in this list. And the last confidence boosting fragrance that I want to talk about is from Thameen, and this one is Peregrina. I'm not sure why I left this one till last, because this one makes me feel extremely confident when I wear it. I'm having a little bit of an obsession with it at the moment, and I sampled it a couple of times, and I feel like on the paper, it smells completely different to how it smells on my skin. On my skin, it really transformed. I think I've told this story before, but I went a little bit anosmic to it the first time I wore it, only for an hour, and then it came back even stronger on my skin. It was a really strange thing. But in essence, how I perceive Peregrina is to be the most beautiful rose and caramel fragrance, and that caramel note really blossomed on my skin chemistry and became quite sweet and sticky, and I was completely here for that when that happened. Really enjoyed that experience. It's vanillic, it's floral, there's ylang in here too. It's a little bit musky. I feel like this is a very feminine fragrance, and I just feel really pretty when I wear this one. It gives me a confidence boost. It's a little bit of a fail-safe fragrance, so when I really don't know what to wear and I just want to feel good, I will reach for Peregrina. It just makes me feel a very certain way. There's that translucent amber note in this fragrance too, which makes it not too heavy. I also get a little bit of gardenia, a little bit of musk, and it's slightly powdery. But the notes that are most prominent to me is the rose, the caramel, and the vanilla. Lovely scent. Could make a great signature scent too, and makes me feel really confident, of course, if it's in this list. So yeah, that was Peregrina. So that was all of the fragrances that I wanted to discuss in today's video. Please do let me know your thoughts on the fragrances that I mentioned. But as always, I really want to know what fragrances make you feel really confident and why, if so. Please do let me know down in the comments, because I often research your recommendations. You're always bringing me either fragrances that I've not heard before or fragrances that I'm kind of interested in already, but just need that little final nudge to go out and sample it. So please keep those recommendations coming. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure as always. I hope to see you all in a future video to come. Have a wonderful day. Thank you and goodbye.